This is AWS On Air. We are live at reInvent, and we've got a really special episode right now going on. We're going to be talking about cost optimization, a topic that definitely is really of top of mind of people. And so let's see who's really here on the panel. My name is Jillian Ford, and I'm a startup solutions architect.
My name is Nathan, and I work at Container Services in AWS.
Hi, I'm Rahul Subramaniam. I'm CTO at ESW Capital and the CEO of a very exciting new company called CloudFix. So,
I guess that begs the question then, what is CloudFix?
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of background.
Okay.
As the CTO of ESW Capital, we are a group of about 150 enterprise software companies that we run, and we manage 40,000 AWS accounts of our own.
Wow.
Okay, so one of the big challenges that I had was crazy cost increases. And so I was looking for solutions that would help us control our costs. And I pretty much tried every tool out there. And after about a year and a half of really trying and failing miserably at trying to control costs, I realized three things. Number one was there's a fundamental difference between recommended savings and realized savings. Okay. Second one is that it is invariably these recommendations that the tools make feel like heart surgeries or open heart surgeries on your applications, and they're extremely hard to get at. Okay? And so the approach that we took to solving the problem for ourselves was we said, let's take a step back. Let's try and look at every AWS recommendation that has come out around cost. Let's filter them down to the ones that are simple, no-brainer, non-disruptive changes, and let's just completely automate them away so that we can run these consistently and get the savings. Now, most tools talk about saving 50 and 60%. I think that's very unrealistic. In our experience, we found that when you do these simple automations, easy wins, you can save anywhere between 10 and 20%, and those are wins which are infinitely better because you get them in the bank. And I think that
and it was automated. I didn't have to spend a lot of money to
actually
engineering time, put my devs to work for weeks.
Exactly. And that was the key thing. And then, so we've been doing this for about 7 or 8 years. And then a couple of years ago, a lot of our customers were coming and asking us and telling us about the problems that they were having as they were adopting AWS. We've been AWS customers since 2007 and all in. So we've had 15 years of experience doing this. But when our customers started asking us the same thing, we were like, oh, we already have the solution. Why don't we package it up and offer it as a solution? And that was the birth of CloudFix.
Wow.
Oh, great. OK.
So that sounds amazing. I can totally see that as kind of the 80-20 rule. There are some really deep optimizations that you could do, but it would require a lot of developer time, expensive developer time. But your service, it sounds like, can automate some of the simple optimizations and get you the 10 to 20% of savings very fast, very quickly, in an automated manner.
Exactly. Actually, if you look at your expenses and your costs, your most expensive resources are your people. You want to put them on the hardest problems that require decision making, right? Anything that is mundane, simple, easy, that you all need to do at scale, like fixing all of these problems at scale, like there might be say a GP2 volume, which you should be converting to GP3 because it uses less than 3,000 IOPS. And you might have 10,000 of these. You don't want someone clicking on the console, going 7 times per instance doing this. You need a simple automation that just runs consistently every single time in a predictable manner and gets you those savings right away.
Yeah, that's always been one of my pet peeves when you have like an engineer that is being paid like 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, and they're working like several weeks to get an optimization that's going to save $1,000 a year. It's like, that wasn't a good trade.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And I think the other thing that most people don't realize is that cost savings is non-stop.
It's so true.
You just cannot, it's not a one-time effort, it's not a one and done thing. And it's for multiple reasons. Number one, we love AWS for the fact that they're coming up with so many new services all the time, and you want to be leveraging all of that stuff, right? So with every new service, with every new API, there are 100,000 API now or more than that. So with every new service and API, there are new things to go get at. Second, our developers are launching new instances all the time. They're trying to launch new ways of, or they're figuring out new patterns of using these services all the time. So with the environments changing constantly, with services changing constantly, you have to be on top of things. And you cannot do that in a scalable, sustainable manner unless you have automation and standard practices around these things. So I think that's where the value of CloudFix really comes about. It allows you to take care of all of these simple, mundane, standardized stuff with all the AWS best practices put in place that allows you to execute this in a really simple manner.
So you said automation. Can you tell us about how CloudFix actually automates cost savings?
So great question. There are two aspects to it. So the first one is we actually implement a fix for every AWS recommendation that has come out for cost savings. Okay, and we continue to do this. I mean, this is a never-ending.
How many of these fixes are that?
Lots, loads of them. They constantly, like every day, there's a new one. So this, like I said, is non-stop. It just never ends. But the other aspect of it is we work very closely with the AWS teams to leverage Change Manager to implement these automated fixes. So these automated fixes are in the form of SSM documents. So we use Change Manager to basically push templates and change requests. So this is the AWS recommended way of implementing changes within your AWS accounts. And that's how we do it. And this is a fundamental shift from anything that you see out there. Because traditionally, you've required to hand over admin credentials to whatever tool that you're using to fix it, which is why nobody does a fix. And so we have actually implemented this via Change Manager, where the customer is completely in control around the security and access and execution of these fixes. And because it's Change Manager, you get all the audits, you get a mechanism of reviewing every single change that comes in and execute it in the AWS recommended way.
Wow.
That's very smart.
That is, I think, the key USP of CloudFix. It's super simple. It's a no-brainer. You just turn it on and let it run. And it keeps cleaning up your stuff. And unlike a lot of other tools, we have a very, very simple, no-brainer pricing. So check us out on cloudfix.com. It's really simple. And
I think one of the questions that people are going to naturally have is, what's one of the most common findings and remediations that CloudFix is fixing automatically on my behalf when I turn it on my account?
I'll give you a couple of them that are really, really simple. I mean, you look at S3 intelligent tiering as a simple one, right? S3 intelligent tiering has been around for, 5 years, 6 years now? And surprisingly, it's not turned on by default. Okay? The amazing thing about that one, and again, the insight here is, the first two levels of infrequent access have absolutely zero latency penalties. So you should turn it on by default to go not all the way up to deep glacier, but go up to the first two levels of infrequent access, where there are no latency penalties. If you need to access that data, once in a while, great, you'll just be charged a little greater sum for that access. But it's really simple. You can go, just turn that on. You save between 20 and 30% on your S3 costs out of the box. No latency penalties for that odd occasion when you might need to access the data, and you save money.
And so
we just turn it on.
Because this is an ongoing thing, if my engineer creates another S3 bucket, a month from now, or we spin up another account and somebody doesn't get the defaults right and doesn't turn it on, CloudFix is going to detect and fix that on an ongoing basis from now on.
Exactly.
Wow,
exactly.
That's great.
Another example, 2 years ago, AWS announced the GP3 volume type, right? And AWS even put out a blog that said, move to GP3, you'll save 20% on your costs. But whenever you launch an EC2 instance, the default storage type is still GP2. Okay? So we can literally constantly analyze the accounts and look for any volume where, if you find a GP2 volume that's using less than 3,000 IOPS as a throughput, you can, as a no-brainer, switch over to GP3, okay? And you save 20% right out of the box. And there are absolutely no disruptions, no changes to the service levels. It's free, literally.
I'm excited about this for other people right now. This is so cool. So how can people learn more and be able to just start using CloudFix?
So check us out at cloudfix.com. And if you are here at the show, please come and visit us on the show floor. We are at booth 3582, if I'm not mistaken. So check us out. We are there. We'd love to talk to you. And looking forward to this.
I'm definitely going to swing by that booth too. I'm interested.
For sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me over
Thank you very much for being on the show and telling us about this amazing tool.
Great.
Thank you so much, Rahul. This has been AWS On Air. Stick around. We've got more coming up next.